Have you ever wondered how border security impacts crime rates? Well, it's a fascinating subject, and today we're going to explore it together. Let's start with the basics. Border security. It's a term that's been thrown around in countless debates and news cycles. But what does it really mean? In essence, it's the measures put in place by a country to monitor and regulate who or what is entering and leaving. Its purpose is to ensure the safety and security of the country and its citizens, and it plays a crucial role in deterring criminals. Now, when we talk about criminals in relation to border security, we're not just referring to those involved in petty crimes. We're talking about a range of offenses that could potentially have far-reaching impacts. This includes smuggling of drugs, weapons, and even human trafficking. These are serious crimes that can disrupt the peace and stability of a nation, and border security is the first line of defense against them. The effectiveness of border security is often gauged by the number of criminals arrested at the borders each year. These figures give us insight into the types of crimes being committed and the success rate of our border security measures. But it's not just about the numbers. It's about understanding the patterns, trends, and underlying factors that influence these figures. Are crime rates higher during certain periods? Are there specific types of crimes that are prevalent? These are just some of the questions we need to ask when analyzing the data. By doing so, we can identify areas of concern, make informed decisions, and implement strategies to strengthen our border security. But remember, border security isn't just about keeping the bad guys out. It's also about ensuring that legitimate trade and travel can proceed smoothly. It's a delicate balance that requires careful planning and execution. So, now that we've set the stage, let's delve into the trend of arrests over the years and see what it reveals. It's time to pull back the curtain on the intricate world of border security and crime rates. So stay tuned, because this journey is only just beginning. To understand the impact of border security on crime rates, we need to look at the arrest records over the years. The journey begins in the early 2000s, a time when the world was just stepping into the digital era. Border security measures were simpler, and crime rates were relatively low. However, as the decade progressed, there was a noticeable uptick in the number of arrests. By the mid-2000s, the figures were significantly higher. This change could be attributed to several factors. For one, advancements in technology led to more sophisticated methods of crime detection. Moreover, the world was becoming more interconnected, leading to a rise in cross-border crimes. As we moved forward into the late 2000s and early 2010s, the number of arrests continued to fluctuate. There were years when the numbers dropped, only to rise again the following year. This inconsistency could be due to changes in border security policies, shifts in global crime trends, or even the ebb and flow of economic conditions. Fast forward to the past half-decade, and the trends remain just as complex. There have been years with a surge in arrests, followed by years with a surprising dip. For instance, 2021 saw a sharp increase in arrests, only for the numbers to fall dramatically in 2022. This fluctuation reminds us that border security and crime rates are not two isolated entities. They are intertwined, constantly influencing and being influenced by a myriad of factors. As we delve deeper into the trends, we must remember that each arrest represents a story. Behind these numbers are individuals, families, communities, and nations grappling with the realities of crime and border security. The statistics are not just cold, hard facts. They are a reflection of our collective struggle to maintain safety and order in an increasingly complex world. As we can see, the number of arrests has fluctuated over the years, indicating a complex relationship between border security and crime rates. Let's focus now on the years with the highest number of arrests. What was happening during these peak years? As we delve into the peak years, we find ourselves looking at a period stretching from the late 1990s to the early 2000s. This era witnessed an unprecedented surge in arrests at the border. But why? What was so specific about these years? Well, one of the major contributing factors was a significant shift in immigration policies. Around this time, the United States enacted stringent laws aimed at curbing illegal immigration. The Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act of 1996, for instance, provided for enhanced border security and a stricter approach towards illegal immigrants. This led to an increase in patrols along the border, which in turn resulted in a higher number of arrests. In addition to policy changes, economic conditions also played a role. The late 90s and early 2000s were characterized by a booming US economy, which attracted a large number of people seeking better opportunities. However, with stricter immigration laws in place, many found themselves facing arrest at the border. Another factor that can't be overlooked is the geopolitical landscape of the time. The turn of the millennium was a period of significant political unrest in many parts of the world, leading to an influx of asylum seekers trying to cross the border, consequently adding to the arrest numbers. Yet it's important to remember that these peak years are not just about numbers. They represent real people with real stories. They paint a picture of how global events, economic conditions, and policy changes can drive trends in migration and consequently border arrests. In essence, these peak years are a mirror reflecting the intricate interplay of various factors that influence human movement. They serve as a stark reminder that border security is a complex issue, bound by the threads of policy, economy, and global geopolitics. These peak years provide an intriguing insight into how various factors can influence the number of arrests at the border. Now, let's turn our attention to the most recent years. What do these trends tell us? In the last 5 years, there's been a fascinating pattern in the number of criminals arrested at the border. We've seen a slight decrease in arrests. However, it's not as simple as saying that crime is going down. There are a few factors that could be influencing these trends. Firstly, changes in policy have played a significant role. Increased border security measures have likely deterred some individuals from attempting to cross illegally. More fences, more patrols, and more advanced technology mean it's harder than ever to slip through the cracks. Secondly, the global pandemic has also played a part. The restrictions on international travel have meant fewer people are trying to cross borders illegally. It's not that there are fewer criminals, but rather, there are fewer opportunities for them to cross borders. However, it's important not to be complacent. As travel restrictions ease and people start moving again, we could see an uptick in the number of arrests. It's also worth noting that the nature of crime is changing. Cybercrime, for example, is on the rise, and these criminals don't need to cross physical borders to commit their crimes. So what are the implications of these trends for the future? Well, it suggests that border security will continue to be a critical issue. As the nature of crime changes, so too must our approach to border security. We need to be prepared for the challenges that new technologies and new types of crime present. It also suggests that we need to be proactive, not reactive. We need to anticipate changes in crime trends and adapt our strategies accordingly. This might mean investing more in cybersecurity, for example, or working with other countries to tackle cross-border crime. The recent trends provide a glimpse into the future, hinting at the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. As we wrap up, let's summarize the key points we've discussed today. We've taken a deep dive into the intricate world of border security and the arrest trends that have emerged over the years. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it? We began by pondering on the complex relationship between border security and crime rates. It's a delicate dance, isn't it? A tango, if you will, where one misstep can lead to an uptick in crime rates. We discovered that while a secure border is essential in deterring criminals, it's certainly not the only factor at play. Next, we unveiled the arrest trends, a roller coaster of numbers that paint a vivid picture of fluctuating crime rates. We've seen years where the arrests were high and others where the numbers took a nosedive. It's a testament to the dynamic nature of crime and border security. Then we delved into the peak years, taking an in-depth look at the periods where the number of arrests soared. It was like peering into a time capsule, wasn't it? Those years presented us with a snapshot of a time when border security was stretched to its limits. And let's not forget our exploration of recent trends and their implications. We've seen how the landscape of border security has evolved, and how this evolution has influenced the number of arrests. It's a fascinating narrative of change and adaptation. So, what's the takeaway from all this? Well, it's simple. Border security and crime rates are intertwined in a complex dance, and the number of arrests at the border each year is a metric that reflects this dance. It's influenced by a multitude of factors, from shifts in policy to changes in criminal behavior. So while border security plays a crucial role in deterring criminals, it's clear that a range of factors influence the number of arrests each year. As we move forward, these trends will continue to shape our approach to border security and crime prevention.